last few minutes. We can begin. How was everybody's 4th of July? Good. Not many comments. Good. Okay. It's a long weekend. I like the Yeah, I feel like they were lacking in a lot of big fireworks this year. I remember I was saying last year how they didn't have a whole lot of parades or anything going on, but I literally sat out on my balcony almost for like 2 weeks straight and watched fireworks. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear my cat. She's like going crazy in the background. She's very happy I'm home. I've been gone. So, all right. Well, today I'm gonna share my screen. I'm glad everybody had a good 4th of July. At least it was somewhat decent and hopefully somewhat back to normal. All right, so go back. So science week 4. We did last week, we did the color edition, and we looked at how to make pixels and so on. And so you had this assignment where you were supposed to go to the lab, the interactive lab, and work through at least trying to figure out the percentage of a yellow school bus, cyan sky, magenta ink. I have a little Kahoot we're gonna run through. And we're gonna see. I did it, so it's okay, based on the closest that I could get to them. I kind of rounded up. So I did at least the first 10 here. And then we're gonna talk about coming up on your own. But I want to share my Kahoot. And it is tricky, I will tell you that. But I think that we can get it. So we're gonna go through and figure out yellow school bus, cyan sky, magenta ink, orange, milk chocolate brown, lavender flowers, light pink rose, purple grape, navy blue Bears jersey, and forest green card to see if we can get what we have or what I came up with. And your numbers might have been off slightly, but like I said, I kind of rounded to the best number I could get to. So there's the game pin. Are we ready? We got everybody? All right, so let's begin. It's challenging, I promise. So what percent of red, green, blue will make the color yellow in a yellow school bus? Good. 100% red and 100% green. Good. You guys did well on that one. All right. Next question. What percentage of red, green, and blue will make the color cyan in a cyan sky? So like this color. 100% blue and 100% green. Good. Kind of threw some people off with some of those. All right, next question. What percent of red, green, and blue will make the color magenta in a magenta ink? Hundred percent red, 50% blue, and 25% green. Good. Ooh. What percent of red, green, and blue will make the color orange in an orange? Good, 100% red and 50% green. What percent of red, green, and blue will make the color of milk chocolate brown? %50 red and about 15% green. This one was tricky. If I find it back here. If I go to the interactive lab, it was really tricky to come up with like a good green. So like I said, 50% red, I think I said, and 15% green. Close right there. So just bringing them closest together, trying to get the chocolatey brown. This picture doesn't look like it, but down here is what you want to go based off of. So I was trying to get the close as I could. So it was challenging, but it's like, oh, that looks more like chocolate. So it was kind of hard to get the exact colors. Like I said, I just rounded. What percent of red and green and blue will make the color of lavender flowers? Good, 75% blue and 75% red. Most of you did really well on this. What percentage of red and green and blue will make the color of a light pink rose? %100 red, 75% green, and about 100% blue. It was very challenging to try to come up with the really light pink. But let's see if I can find it again. I want to make sure I said it right. 75% green, 100% blue. So if you remember, you put all these together, it makes a white, right? So if I say about 75, you kind of see that dusty pink. You probably could have got a little lighter, but really to get that light pink. So you can really, the more you get less green, the more pink it is. So somewhere around 50% up to 75% of green would have been acceptable. What percentage of red, green, and blue will make the color purple in grapes? She said purple grapes. This one was similar to the lilac. It was just a little darker, so it was a little less. The less color, the more dark, more color. So let me say it. So the less percent of color, the more dark it will be, the more percent of the color, the more light it will be. So here we have 20% red and 25% blue. 25% red, excuse me. What percentage of red, green, and blue will make the color of a navy blue Bears jersey? Yep, so this one was all blue, but it was, remember the less amount of blue, the darker it's gonna be. So to get that deep navy blue, you just wanna use as little blue as possible, but little, and we're sticking with the blues, so you don't need any reds or greens. And the last one, what percentage of red, green, and blue will make the color of a forest green car? %25% green. So again, you're sticking with that forest green, it's still green. You just make it really dark, so you need less green in the percentage. See who our winners are. Lily, nice. Paige. Drum roll. Harmony, good. Nice. Like I said, it was challenging. Just trying to figure out the percentage, but if you did the assignment, you should have had something similar or close to it. Did anybody come up? So it says come up with 3 of your own. Anybody come up with kind of 3 of their own? They did Vikings or, Green Bay Packers colors or something. Nobody? Mint. Oh, I like mint. So the color of a mint. I did gold. Like not yellow, but gold. So again, it was just trying to, find something, even if it was just some color like hot pink or whatever around your house, and trying to use it in Interactive Lab to see if you can figure out the percentage. Remember, with a lighter color, you're getting, the lighter percent or less percent of the color you're getting, the darker the color, the more percent, the lighter the color. And if you put them all together, you get white. So it was actually kind of an interesting lab to see. And it's, again, those colors that we use in pixels to come up with an actual image. Did anybody actually look at an image online with their magnifying glass to see any pixels? If you haven't, you can still do that. It's actually really cool to look at the different colors. And like I said, in the lab, they took the 3, go back to it real quick, sorry. they took the three colors and separated them. And then when you brought them all together, it brought in, it had different percentage. So here you have different percentage of green all around it, different percentage red, and different percentage of blue. So then when you did put them all together, you have that beautiful color. You have the cyan sky, the white clouds, and so on. And so that's what brings all the colors together. If I was to get rid of the red, you could see the difference. Get rid of the green again and get rid of the blue. You can see where it comes in and all the different colors kind of fade in and come together to make a pixelated picture like this. So that was our color addition from last week. Kind of relate back to, I guess, computer science as well. What we're talking about this week is fingerprints. I don't know if you were here last year. Last year we kind of did similar fingerprint, but with ink. This year we're actually going to use a pencil, and I'm going to talk about that. But before that, I want to talk about what fingerprinting is. So on the surface of your fingerprints, or surface of your fingers, excuse me, you have these raised lines, okay, called friction ridges. If you look, you can kind of distinctly see the different patterns in all of them. Everybody has their unique fingerprints and so on. So on top of all these edges and ridges are basically where you have your salt, your mixture of salt, proteins, and water, your sweat. Okay. So when you touch something like a drinking glass, your phone, okay, it leaves, basically a pattern that is your fingerprint. In 1880, Francis Galton recognized that the rigid patterns are different for every person and determined that these are called fingerprints. Every person has their own, and what they use to identify, those in different cases and so on. And we have them based on a classification. So all fingerprints are divided into three different classes. So we have loops, whorls, and arches. About 60 to 65% of the population have loops. Okay, basically it goes in and back out. So there's a loop right there. It just makes a distinct loop. 30 to 35% have whorls, and there are different types of whorls. It could be plain, central pocket, loop, double loop, and accidental. And so this is what a whorl looks like. You can see almost like a distinct circle. About 5% have arches. I'm gonna go back and forth. So you have a plain arch, just like this, just goes up, or you have a tented arch. So these three classes are based on all the different 10 fingerprints classification system. So arches are the least common of the three. And so those are divided into two distinct arches, plain or tented. And so here you can see, the different fingerprints that I was going back and forth to, and the different ridges associated with them. And so when forensic scientists actually take the fingerprints, okay, they go and they analyze them. Whenever you go to get like a government job or a teaching job and so on, you have to get fingerprinted, basically to do a background check. And so normally now, it used to be ink, now it's all just scanned in the computer. And so it's uploaded into a database. And from there, so if your fingerprints ever happen to be in a crime, then they can go back to that database. Now it's not gonna be like CSI where they pinpoint exactly that person and say, there's our match. You actually have somebody that goes in and they look, the computer generalizes roughly about 20 different, roughly about 20. It could be a little more, a little less, different people that actually match the fingerprints of that distinct crime. From there, you have an actual person come in and they look and they analyze every single fingerprint to see if it matches exactly how it should. And so it's not, like I said, it's not like CSI where all of a sudden, oh, we have a match and so on. So they actually have to come in and look at the fingerprints. So a person has to analyze it, and it takes, days, if not weeks. These are the different whorls. So we have a plain whorl. So it's normally just like a circle in the middle, a central pocket where you have kind of coming in as a loop on the side, and then it kind of makes this little circle from the side. A double loop kind of goes up and down. and then accidental starts making a loop this side and also makes a loop on this side. Here's our loop patterns, our arches, okay, plain arches, and then a tented arches is more distinct, going up and down. So fingerprints are not as defiant as DNA, but they are actually a little bit, you can bring it to court and be like, yep, we see the match, here's where it matches, and you can analyze that. And that's why they have someone actually go in there and look at the fingerprints. And so it can be really important evidence when it comes to identifying somebody from a crime. Now, the other thing is somebody, he was in the mafia a long time ago, burnt off his fingerprints, okay? To basically, make sure that they didn't figure out his fingerprints and figure out who he was. Your palm actually has a distinct pattern in it as well. And the thing is, if you burn off all your fingerprints and you're the only one that's ever burnt off fingerprints, they can link it back to you, especially with that palm as well. They can identify that, so they can take a palm print with your whole hand and identify and match it up. And so your palm also has some rigid patterns, not as distinct as the fingerprints, but your palm actually has some distinct lines and so on. But again, that's not as identifying as the fingerprints. Here we go. Oh, I just want to add in real quick. So do you guys ever, if you've ever gotten pulled over or ever seen videos of cops and they pull people over, they actually, I found this out the other day and I thought it was really interesting and really kind of different, but they actually touch the back of your headlight or the back of your truck, or car, trunk or whichever. Does anybody know why? It has to do with fingerprints. So they leave behind fingerprints. So they touch it so that their fingerprints are on it. And normally they'll take off their glove if they have a glove on to do that. Because if something was to happen, say they were to get shot or ran over, whichever, from that stop, then, okay, they're basically conditioned to do this so that if that person takes off, change their license and so on, or, license plate and so on, trying to get away with it, they can still impound that car and look for the fingerprints on the back of it. So it's kind of interesting just to know that little side note about it. All right, so I have a short video and I'm going to show you what you were going to do today. So all right, so that's just introduction to fingerprints. So your job today is to go through and work through this document. So you're going to wash your hands first off, and then you're going to take, stop sharing. You're going to take like a piece of paper and you're going to take a pencil. So you're going to need a lead pencil. And all you're going to do is go back and forth and kind of make a really dark area. You may have to do this a few times. So something like that. And you're going to take your finger and do every single one and roll it in there. So then you should have ink. Okay, it's like kind of like a Ricochet ink pad, but it actually works really well with lead pencil, we found out. So you're going to take the lead pencil and then you're going to, on a separate sheet of paper, let me share my screen again, is you're going to kind of draw something similar to this. Your right thumb, right index finger, and so on. It doesn't have to be like this, but you just need to label them. And you're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to roll your finger on it. Press hard, and you should have a fingerprint. Mine's not as great as it could be, so I might have to do it again. But again, the darker you get with the lead pencil, the easier you're going to be able to see the fingerprint. And so you're going to make your fingerprint, and you can use a magnifying glass if you need to actually look for the whorls, loops, and arches. And so you're just going to go through, and it says press each one very carefully and then press it on a separate sheet of paper. Make sure to wipe off either with soap and water after each finger, so you don't kind of get them mixed up. And then jot them down. Okay. And then I want you to go through and identify if you have a loop, whirl, plain arch, or tented arch in each one. And if it's a whirl, like what type of whirl. And so when you are all done, you're going to go to this form here. And you're going to enter in your email address, first and last name. Okay, purpose of the lab, fingerprints you did. What type of fingerprints did you find in your right hand? Were they all arches? Were they all loops? And then did you find any in your left hand? Oops, I gotta update that. I just noticed a mistake. See? All right. And then did you find an arch on any of your fingers? If so, which finger or fingers? A whirl on your fingers? If so, which ones? Find a loop on one of your fingers. If so, which one? Sorry. And then what did you learn from the lab assignment? And so then you will respond to this when you're done. I don't necessarily need a picture of this. It's just, I would like you to fill out the Google form. But, you know, make sure that you really work through and try to do the best you can with each fingerprint. I know that was short, but I want to give you guys time. I figure like the fingerprints may take a little bit of time here. Any questions? Next week we are making, if you have a mason jar and a light, and some construction paper, I think you should have that in your bag. Make sure you bring that next week because we're going to do a little project with that. And I think that will be it. And we'll kind of go over fingerprints next week and then do the assignment, probably do the project together. It's just kind of constellations. We're going to make our own constellation and it's going to be like a glass jar that we're going to be making together. So it'll be a little bit longer next week. So any questions? All right. I know that was short. Sorry, guys. May take them a little longer to do the fingerprints.
Boris, that was cool. I like the video. All right. So let me grab the daily prizes. Give me a second here.
So the first winner today is Aaron.
Let's see right there. Screen 3, sure.
Miku.
Can you see the prizes?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Alency. Diego. And finally, Amina. So today's daily winners are Aaron, Miku, Alency, Diego, and Amina.
Congrats, guys.
I I do have some bad news for weekly prize winners. I tried to get AirPods at Walmart, at Target, at Amazon, and they are nowhere to be found. So we're gonna have to think of something different. I do have alternatives. So I apologize for that. So the alternatives, I'm going to put them up on the screen here, and they're very similar to the cost of what AirPods are. So you don't have to tell me today, but at some point you'll have to let me know if you want the Samsung Galaxy Buds Live, and there's 3 to 4 different colors for those, or if you want the Beats Studio Buds, and as you can see, there's 3 different colors for those. I do apologize. When I looked at AirPods, they were widely available early this summer, and now they are nowhere to be found, unfortunately. So yeah, so if you are here and have won and wanted AirPods, you're more than welcome to pick one of these, or you could pick a different prize. I'll put those up too. So those of you who won daily, send me a message as well for what you want. Again, I'm very sorry. Come on, pop up. I'll pop up. I'll put the weekly prizes here as well, so people can pick those. Let's see. I think these are it. So I'm just going to delete this one because it doesn't work. But we still have the Apple Pencil available. Everything else is available. So let me actually. There we go. All right. And then once you're done, you can go ahead and take off. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you Friday for science.
Woo.
Students, tomorrow is the last day to sign up for Valley Fair, so get your survey in if you want to.
Oh, yes.
Miku wants to give her daily prize to someone else. So I can redraw for her. Is that okay?
That's fine with me. She is that for week 3?
No, she won today.
Oh, daily. Oh, yes,
Yep,
yes, that's
daily.
fine. Yes, sorry.
Um,
Okay. Thank you.
Trying to come up with the number that's not highlighted on my screen. Mira. So Mira, you are one of the new winners for today.
Yep. I will, let me put this up now here. Those are the daily prizes. All right, if you have sent me an email or a message, letting me know.
Hey, I wanted to just say that like I sent you a message so you know. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. I just wanted
Thank you.
to make sure you knew.
Oh, yeah, I'll download it. Thank you. I think I did see it. Yep, I got it. All right, and then Molly, don't close this out till I download. I hope I don't forget.
I had some students message me, so I sent them over to you. I sent it
Oh,
over.
perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, Anna.
All right.
Robert, you got my message about yesterday, right?
No, I haven't. Was
Oh.
it an email?
No, I
just
just
saw-
wrote in the chat, but
Oh, no worries. It was like a 2-minute meeting, so no worries.
okay. I was like having troubles. I was trying to connect to my phone because I was on the road, and I don't know.
No, don't worry about it. It's like I said, that stuff is the meeting is